how to make your own homemade IPA panel wipe for car detailing. So what's up guys? Welcome to another episode of Pan TheOrganizer. So today I'll be talking about a few topics. First of all, what is an IPA? So what does it stand for? What does it do? Also, what is the cost of a homemade IPA? You're going to see that you're going to save a lot of money compared to commercially available IPA solutions. Then how do you dilute it? So I'm going to be doing a demo so you can see live exactly how easy it is to do. And fifth, I'm going to be giving you some tips and tricks that are not often shared. So there's a lot of misinformation out there. I've been detailing for over 25 years now, and I absolutely love sharing my passion and knowledge about detailing with you guys, my viewers. But also, many of you know that I have a background in medical studies. So I studied in university in molecular biology and biochemistry. So I like to make things easily understandable and accessible for everyone to know and understand everything about car detailing, including the detailing chemicals that we use. So first of all, what is an IPA? What does it stand for? Well, it's an isopropyl alcohol mix. So IPA means isopropyl alcohol. So it is a non-polar solvent. So in the car detailing industry, they're often referred to as an IPA wipe, a panel prep, a paint prep spray, a panel wipe, so on and so forth. They all mean the same thing. So what does an IPA solution do? Basically, there are many uses, but the most commonly used one is for removing polishing oils and residue when you're done polishing the paintwork, right? So think about it. You're using your compounds and your polishes, and inside those, well, they contain abrasives, right? But there's also some oils for lubrication and other functions as well. And when you're done polishing the surface, they leave behind this oily film or oily residue, and that can prevent the bonding of your paint protection, especially if you're applying a ceramic coating or a graphene coating. So the more durable paint protections, they need to bond directly to a virgin clear coat. So you have to remove any potential residue or oily residue before you apply those coatings so you can ensure a proper bond. So what that non-polar solvent is doing is breaking the bond, right, between older waxes and sealants as well on the surface before you apply a fresh layer of wax or sealant. So that's another use, to prepare the paint before you apply a fresh layer of wax or sealant. And then also another technique, I'm going to be giving some tips and tricks towards the end, but you can use an IPA for cleaning windows, so on and so forth. So we all know that it does remove polishing oils and residue. It can also remove some fillers, right? So a lot of the polishes or compounds, sometimes they contain masking agents or filling agents that will lightly fill the surface and give you an impression that you're doing proper paint correction. But in reality, because of those fillers, you might not see exactly what level of paint correction you're doing. So by using an IPA after your compound step and after your polishing step, you can visually observe the true level of paint correction with none of those fillers apparent, so you know what kind of correction you did, so you can readjust accordingly. So what about the costs themselves? First of all, making your own IPA solution at home is very simple, as I'm going to demonstrate in just a few seconds here. But there are some commercially available IPAs that work super well, and I'm thinking of the ones I often use the most. And by the way, I'll leave links to all of the products in the description under the video for you guys to check them out. So all you have to do is sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. And quick disclaimer, this is not a sponsored video. Nobody paid for this video. Okay, so one of the commercially available paint preps that works super well is Meguiar's M122 Surface Prep. Very good amounts of lubrication as well. Another one that I commonly like to use is CarPro Eraser. So these are already diluted, so they're ready to use, or RTU. And you basically spray them on. You're going to let them dwell on the surface a little bit. Don't let them dry. And then you just wipe with a microfiber towel, flip to a clean and dry side, and then you do the final buff, and there you go. Another one is Geon Prep. So pretty much all the coating companies have their own panel preps, right? So though if they have a ceramic coating, they usually have their line of paint polishes and compounds. They also have their panel preps or panel wipes. So this one here is from G-Technic. This is their PW or panel wipe. Basically, all of these are isopropyl alcohol solutions. So again, used to remove polishing oils and residue after you're done polishing. And that's before you apply a ceramic or a graphene coating or even a wax or sealant. If you want to ensure the best durability and the best performance of your protection, do an IPA wipe before you apply it, and that way you'll maximize the bond, the performance, and all that kind of stuff. So for the costs, Typically, if you make your own homemade solution, of course, it depends on which country you live in because the raw materials can increase in costs or not. But in general, you're looking at 5 to 10 times less expensive if you make your own panel wipe at home instead of purchasing a commercially available one. So the cost savings are quite significant, especially if you're a professional detailer out there and you're doing heavy volumes of vehicles. You know that buying in bulk and diluting your own products at home is going to save you a ton of money. So how do you dilute it now? Let me bring you into the demo and I'm going to show you exactly how we do it and the simple stuff that we need to perform the dilution. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and do the dilutions. To start off, you're going to need a spray bottle. A 32 ounce is a common size. Another size people like is a 16 ounce spray bottle. Whichever one you have, that's fine. I recommend for any dilutions when you're doing car detailing, use distilled water. It doesn't contain any minerals, and that's going to be going to give you a longer shelf life and better performance of whatever you're diluting. So use distilled water regularly or easily available at your local pharmacy or drugstore or whatever. Next, you're going to have isopropyl alcohol. So this one here is 99%. The commonly ones, the ones that are most commonly available at your local pharmacy or drugstore, once again, is 99%, 91%, and 70%. I'm going to explain to you exactly which quantity of each we're going to be using. I have here a little funnel just to make the dilutions easier. So for the demo, we're going to be using a 32 ounce spray bottle because we want to have enough quantities for it to last a long time. So add that attachment or the funnel on top of the spray bottle itself. Now, if you have a 99% or 91% IPA in this bottle here, what we're going to be using is basically 4 ounces of this or 120 mils, and then we're going to add 28 ounces of distilled water, or that's 710 mils inside the bottle. And so in this here, we're going to first start by adding the water. So I said 28 ounces, so we're going to measure that in our measuring cup. Again, I'll leave links to all of these in the description under the video. And don't overthink the moment. What we're looking for is an IPA solution, in my recommendations, that is anywhere from 10 to 15% in total. Now, there are some guys out there who like using a 25% IPA solution. However, especially on softer clear coats, you can potentially risk damaging it or having more complications. So to be safe, have your IPAs diluted between 10 and 15% total. So this here now, we measured 28 ounces in total. We're going to let that go down. So typically for your dilutions, you start by having the solvent first, so water, and then you're going to add the solute, which in this case is the IPA or isopropyl alcohol. So in this case, this is a brand new solution. We're going to measure 4 ounces, as I said, of this, and we're simply going to add that to the spray bottle, and there you go. You have your own homemade IPA solution, and that's how simple that is, guys. So if you're using a 16 ounce bottle, you just divide the quantities by 2, right? So in a 16 ounce bottle, that would be 2 ounces of a 99 or 91% IPA solution and 14 ounces of distilled water in there, and you're good to go. Because you always have a bit of extra room, right, in your 16 ounce bottles. So there we go. We did our solution. You simply mix it up, shake it well, like all your chemicals, and there you go. You're good to go. Prime the sprayer, and boom. Now you have your own homemade IPA solution. It's going to save you on costs a lot. So if you have 70% isopropyl alcohol, so don't forget, this was for 99% or 91%. So again, in a 32 ounce bottle, you would have 4 ounces of this and 28 ounces of distilled water. And if you have 70% isopropyl alcohol, you would use 8 ounces of the 70% IPA and 24 ounces of water. So that's 240 milliliters of your 70% IPA and 710 milliliters of distilled water. You add that in your spray bottle and you're good to go. For a bit more bite, if you want even more cleaning power, you can add half an ounce of your favorite car wash shampoo. Make sure that it's a pH neutral, wax-free car shampoo, and basically half an ounce or a capful if you prefer, just a small quantity. Mix it up in your 32-ounce bottle, and then you're gonna have a bit more bite. Some like to add a bit of APC as well, so half an ounce to a capful of APC in there if you want a bit more cleaning power. But as I said, so just the IPA mix like this, you're good to go, and it's gonna give you all the performance you want at a super, super low cost. All right, so now that we got the dilution down and we have our IPA mixed in our sprayer bottle, let me give you a few quick pro tips. First of all, never use undiluted IPA on your paintwork, as that can dissolve or attack or eat away at the clear coat over time. So make sure you always dilute your IPA if you don't want to have any issues with your paintwork. Next, don't use an IPA solution on a freshly repainted or resprayed vehicle. So you need to let time to the paint to fully cure, and typically wait at least 1 or 2 months on freshly repainted vehicles before you apply any form of protection or using any form of IPA on there. The next, it can work great as a glass cleaner. Now, I try to avoid using this on tinted film if possible, so just straight on glass, so for the exterior, or for example, on the interior, on your windshield especially, we often see that kind of grimy, like filmy residue on the windshield, and often that's just because of accumulated body oils and evaporation from stuff like your plastics and your leather and all that kind of stuff that's the inside of the car. So this does a great job at removing that. So you can use this in combination with a magic eraser on your windscreen or windshield, and that's going to remove that initial grime, and then you finish off with a glass towel and a glass cleaner, and you should have streak-free, high definition looking glass, and it's going to add a lot of clarity because you're removing that film that we all don't like seeing. So ideally, you would also use, if you want to buy a commercially available panel prep, like I like to use, by the way, because I like the ready to use stuff. What is highly recommended in the industry is if you have a coating, for example, from a certain brand, will also get their own panel prep. It has been formulated to always have that compatible chemistry, so you're making sure that you're not introducing anything that the coating won't like, and that's, again, especially if you're applying a ceramic coating or a graphene coating, the ones in glass vials. Those are the ones that last many, many years. They have high chemical durability, UV ray protection, of course, gloss slickness, hydrophobic properties, self-cleaning properties, all that kind of good stuff, but you want to ensure a proper bond. So you could use, for example, their compounds and polishes from the same brand, then use their own panel wipe, and then finish off with the coating, right? So if I look at Carpro, for example, they have their own line of compounds and polishes. So you have, for example, the clear cut compound. They also have their reflect polish, and then you move on to use their panel wipe, so Carpro Eraser, and then you can apply Carpro Seaquartz UK 3.0. The same for Geon. You can use their Geon Mose Evo coating. You can use their polishes that they have in their line. They even have a primer. It's called Geon Primer to boost gloss before you apply this and act as a primer for a ceramic coating. Then you would panel wipe with their Geon Prep. If you used a compounder polish, you don't need to panel prep if you used their primer, but that's for another video. So they have their own. Same thing for G-Technic. If, for example, you're applying their Crystal Serum Light, they have their own polishes and compounds. Then you can move on to using their panel wipe. So this is their paint prep, and then finish off with CSL or Crystal Serum Light, the coating itself, and so on and so forth. When you're done polishing your vehicle, before you use the IPA, if you really want to make sure that there's no oils or polishing residue left behind, you can wash your vehicle with your car wash shampoo or a stripping shampoo, because typically before applying a coating, I like to start with stripping shampoos to clean the car anyway. So McKee's 37 Coating Prep Auto Wash. These are just higher degreasing type shampoos. Adams has their strip wash. So these are wax-free shampoos. It's very important that you don't use any shampoos that contain any form of protection in it, right? So no ceramic-infused shampoos, no wax-infused shampoos, because obviously you don't want to add protection before you're going to add the ceramic coating. So you don't want to prevent the coating from bonding on your clear coat. So when you're done polishing, more and more now, you're going to see coating companies. This is a Geon instruction manual, for example, that they're going to tell you to wash the vehicle before you do the IPA paint prep spray. So let me give you an example here. Hopefully you can see, let me try and focus on this on camera. So when you're done doing the paint correction, machine polishing, they recommend that you wash the car with a highly degreasing agent after paint correction and hot water as well. And you can potentially use dishwashing liquid, and that's recommended. So when you wash your car again, you thoroughly dry it, and then you're going to clean the surface and make it oil-free by using a panel prep like Geon Prep. So it is a good thing if you're, of course, a professional detailer and you're doing high volumes or you're doing many cars and you want to increase efficiency. Obviously, you're not always going to rewash the car after doing the paint correction, because that would increase the time needed, and of course the costs go up and all that kind of stuff. But if you're doing this at home, why not take the extra time to do it? Unless you're very thorough in your IPA application, if you want to make sure to have no worries about leaving any oily residue or polished residue behind when you're done polishing, just wash your car, warm water, use a wax-free and ceramic-free shampoo, so just a pure shampoo, warm water, and you're good to go. And then you're going to thoroughly dry the car and use your IPA paint prep solution. Also, another quick pro tip: always work on a cool surface. You do not want to do this on a hot panel or in direct sunlight without knowing what you're doing, especially if it's at a higher concentration IPA, because you could potentially damage the surface, or you might stain the surface, especially if you're using higher concentrated IPA solutions. But the one I recommend, between 10 and 15% in total, you should be fine on pretty much all clear coats, including the softer clear coats, so you have no worries. And you can readjust from there, right? When you're doing your own testing at home or in your business, you can increase the concentration as need be, depending on your cases, your scenarios, your environment, your reality, that kind of stuff. But a good starting point is to have that safe method IPA, so between 10 and 15% total solution. So again, I'll leave the links to all of these products, tools, equipment, all that stuff in the description under the video for you guys to check them out. Hopefully you enjoy these types of tips and tricks and cool pro stuff. So let me know by smashing the thumbs up button that you like these videos. Drop a comment, by the way. What other pro tips would you want in a future video? I'm always curious to read your comments, and you know I reply personally to YouTube comments almost on a daily basis. Yeah, if you're new to the channel, welcome to the Pan TheOrganizer family. Take a second and click the subscribe button that's found under this video, and that way you'll subscribe to my channel and never miss my future videos. So guys, thanks for being there, thanks for watching, and in the meantime, don't forget, keep it tight, keep it clean, and I'll see you on the next one.